Louisa, thank you for joining us today. Can you just tell us a little bit about EFCA and its aims, please?
Yeah, EFCA is a second-level organization, is a European platform that is gathering 36 patient associations, so IBD patient association, mainly for Europe, but we are growing a lot, also because unfortunately the incidence of IBD is growing everywhere. So we are now attracting new members and new countries for outside Europe. And at the moment we have New Zealand, Argentina, Israel and Turkey that are already in EFCA, but we are working a lot with other friends and other sister organizations all over the world. We just closed a symposium on research and we invited other sister organizations, namely Australia, Brazil, Canada, and we hope to be able to improve our relationships and our memberships very soon. So EFCA is getting more and more global.
So is EFCA now sort of developing into sort of more of a global organisation,
Yeah.
or do you want to keep it European?
I mean, there will be, I guess, a double soul in EFCA because we have been funded in Europe, and the majority of our members for the moment are from Europe. But for sure, we are now envisaging to open different kind of interventions in other continents. Of course, EFCA was Europe and is still Europe, but we are really hoping to be able to develop new partnerships with many other patient associations all over the world. We know there is a need of sharing services, knowledge and competencies, and we are more than happy to put them at disposal to the patient community.
Great. And how does UEG Week benefit organisations like EFCA?
We are really happy to be here because it's a great occasion to talk to physicians, to talk to other associations, to have the feeling of what is really moving in terms of research, in terms of knowledge. And for us it's the best moment to really get in touch with this scientific side of our competencies that sometimes is not that easy to reach when you have to develop your daily activities.
Mm-hmm. And what are the main issues facing patients living with Crohn's and colitis at the moment?
I think that the most challenging aspect is how to better combine quality of care and quality of life. We know that from the physician's point of view, care and the indicators about an effective care have a certain value. Sometimes, I would not say very often, but still the aspect of quality of life is still neglected. If you look at the general perception and environment in which a patient is considered, particularly from the clinical and physician point of view. So we are really trying to find the best combination between the most effective care and the best quality of life for our people. And I think things are moving very well. There is a lot of better understanding on that, but we still need to work on both sides to achieve a common result.
So in terms of sort of the next 5 years, sort of how do you see the landscape for Crohn's and colitis patients sort of changing? What needs to change in your view?
For us, the final goal is finding the cure. So we really do hope that we will be able to achieve it, at least before I retire, who knows. But I think that, again, a better partnership or even more better partnership between the medical component and the patient groups component is for sure very important. I think that, I know that we are now working with new drugs and new treatments and medication that are much more acceptable for many sites for patients, and I'm pretty sure that this wider range of options will facilitate life of people with IBD all over the world. We still have a kind of discrepancy between those countries where the accessibility, availability of drugs is evident, and other countries where it's really difficult to achieve and get good drugs and good treatments. So this is part of our next year mission to at least offer services, information to all the community, not only the community of those countries where drugs are much more accessible or known. So we think that there is still a lot of things to do about knowledge, awareness raising, and I would say solidarity. We are in a phase in which from patient players in the arena of finding IBD, we can now become more activist, particularly claiming the rights for those patients that are still alone. And we think it's very, very important, and I think it can be achieved if physicians and patients are working together.
That's great. Well, thank you very much for joining us at UEG Week.
Thank you so much.